Hey everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel, Trusted Connections. I'm Teresa Rivnak with Trusted Settlement Services, and every week I'll be interviewing the real community leaders in the real estate industry, delving into the why behind the brand of the business and what personal growth and perseverance it takes to build a successful business. Be sure to stay tuned, to like and subscribe to my channel to stay up to date when new videos come out. Our guest for today's episode has chosen for us to support Big Brothers and Big Sisters. This organization has been changing children's lives by matching them with caring adults to guide them on the path to success. Our guest is a man who values character and connection above all. Growing up in Cairo, Egypt with his brother and parents, Mo Rushdy cultivated passion for real estate while watching his father, who was a developer. Upon coming to the U.S., he's held various positions such as planning manager and engineer, senior project manager at Toll Brothers, and vice president of development at Westrom. Years spent fostering these learned skills have teed him up for the great success he has achieved over the past 11 years at his company, the Riverwards Group in Philadelphia, and the newly launched Maven Developments in Egypt. Mo has taken the leadership role in the development industry to a whole new level of innovation with his Community Compassion initiative. Bestowed with 2019's Building Big Award for Real Estate Project of the Year, the Riverwards Group continues to blossom and flourish. Hey Mo, thanks for joining us today on Trusted Connections. Appreciate you taking the call.
Hi, Teresa. How are you?
Doing well.
How's everything?
So these have been some crazy times that we're going through right now. How have you been adjusting?
Well, it's been quite a unique time that we're going through. It's been like everyone else. We're following guidelines. We're staying home. We're adapting. It's amazing what our business has adapted to. It's amazing how we personally adapted to at home. With 3 kids being homeschooled and trying to conduct your meetings and your phone calls while kids are around and dogs and
all of the outside influences.
Oh, absolutely. It's been interesting, but it's been quite a learning experience too. And I think we'll I'll talk more about it, but it's been really a good learning experience for us as what we can do, how efficient we can be as individuals on the personal level and professionally.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's definitely made everyone kind of take a step back and learn how to think creatively and work creatively to best adjust in a very good physically, mentally, emotional way to help us all to kind of, just grow different, which I think has been so beneficial for everybody. How have you been working with your team and communicating and help to keep everybody kind of focused and positive?
So, the first thing that we were fortunate enough that we were Larry, my partner, and I were very close to kind of understanding what the guidelines are with PPP loans and keeping the business open, not laying off anyone. One of the first things that our people and any employee that kind of asked was are we safe? Now, we didn't wait. Once this happened, once the shutdown happened, we kind of proactively went out there and we said, guys, we're good. Everyone's have their jobs. We know your families. We have a low turnover. So we've known our people for, a decade, and we've known their families. We've known their kids, so it's not easy for a business to lay off anyone, but it was even super difficult for us to even consider, doing that. And so, the first thing was we wanted to address the fears, of our people, and basically told them, hey, listen, we're safe, but, now that we're working from home, now that we have very little construction or no construction happening because of the shutdown, here's how the next coming 2 months, you're going to be spending your time to better us as a company. we as a company, just like any other company who is, for profit, we're stretched thin. We're always, running to keep up. And so there's a lot of stuff that we had wished that we have done before, that now we had the time to actually go back, review our policies, our procedures, our reports, our annuals, our weeklies, our, quarterly reports, and went through them and kind of had everyone's input into bettering our policies going forward. So, we communicate on a daily basis, but we have our we still have our weeklies. We're doing Zoom. We do Zoom meetings all the time. We do our sales meetings every week as well. So, I speak with our team and we go through what our goals are, what we're doing, the deals, and what's going on. We have conference calls with mortgage companies, title companies, the city. I'm on the executive board of the BIA, so we have these 1 to 3 meetings a week where we're kind of trying to lead the industry and lead the industry's narrative and training and thoughts about what to do with lenders and what to do in terms of safety if we come back online, and addressing a lot of issues. So it's been quite a ride, but as our people and professionally, I think we kind of address that kind of early in the game to just make sure that everyone feels safe and look forward for the future.
Yeah, that's good, because I think it definitely helps everyone to, when your leaders step up and help give, a sign of courage and, and good perspective and hopefulness. I think it definitely helps to rally a team to be able to focus on the bigger picture and be able to, come together in a very different way to help grow as a team in a way that I'm sure no one would have ever imagined would have possibly happened. Has there been anything in your past that, you think has kind of helped prepare you for kind of, dealing with something like this?
You know what? I think I had one of these radio interviews probably about a year ago, and I was kind of asked the same question. I always said, my dad. My dad was a developer for and a builder. He built a lot of homes for the government. He also was a developer of condo buildings, and he's gone through rough times, ups and downs, the cycles. And I remember seeing a lot of people turn to him for kind of help, whether they lost their job, whether to find them a new job, whether they were struggling. And I've really seen that growing up, where he really had he's never turned away anyone. He's always was willing. He had that kind of personality that, bigger than life, I am going to help you, do not worry. Right. And he would take the burden into kind of helping them. And we have that kind of mentality. I'm not going to say it's me. I'm going to say it's me. It's Larry, my partner. And it has become a culture of our company. That, it's not a, and it's amazing. We opened up a company too in Egypt about a year ago. We're doing a coastal development over there. And that was one of the first things that we said to people is the culture. What is our culture? Our culture is, helping people to find answers. Okay. Helping people to overcome their fears. Okay. And making sure that we are not operating as robots, as, here's a transaction. It's strictly business. No, we're dealing with human beings, whether it's our employees, whether it's our colleagues, whether it's the homeowners that buy a home, mortgage companies, title companies, whoever that we're dealing with, they're all people, right? And I think that communication part is kind of one of the things that we pride ourselves into kind of knowing what it is that the people in front of us are thinking, okay, and we kind of react that way. So when I say we were proactive into talking to our people, it was because of the mindset of we know what's going on in their heads, and we're just not looking the other way and saying, well, you know what, let's keep it, vague until we know what's going on. No, we address it right away. We
Right.
wanted to overcome these fears 100% to make sure that we are not, we're not putting them in any kind of distress.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, circling back to what you were saying about culture, that does have such a huge impact on the perception of a business and the brand identity of a business, and that's certainly become quite a buzzword, I think, over the past year or two. Now, is this something that you have found that you've been building over the years? It's something you were kind of already, you had your eye on, and it was something you focused on. And I assume with, what you just had said about your father, how you had such a good role model with how to rally a team and how to be a community leader, to help ease fears and anxiety about different issues that can come up with business and whatnot. So has this been something that you've kind of always had built into you?
Absolutely. I mean, this is, again, it's, Larry and I, we sit a lot of times and we say, okay, so here are situations. What do we want to be? Who do we want to be? Okay. So, you've got, we're developers. We face all kinds of issues, from sellers, from buyers, from attorneys, from zoning, from city officials. Okay, even the city officials know us. We're easy to talk to. We're down to earth. We solve our issues by actually talking things out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we've never been sued by a homeowner, and I say that proudly. And I'm not saying that people who are sued by homeowners, because there's a lot of things that go around, and sometimes you're on the right side, sometimes you're on the wrong side. So I'm not kind of saying that if you're sued, you're
Right.
you're not on the good side. I'm just saying that we, with building 500, 600, 700 homes, and we have 400 or 500 homes, and we've done more than 80, 90 land deals, and we have not had that kind of we're able to resolve our issues by talking things, by having that culture of that it's not a full win for me or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I say it's a culture of compromise, and it's a culture of also caring. It's amazing. We just opened up our company in Egypt, and our tech, and we always say it's called Maven Developments, and we said Maven Developments, we care the things that matter, right? And we take it to the people, and we had a press conference where we're talking about with people saying, listen, there are a lot of developers out there, and there's a lot of homes that are being built, and you have and they're all good, and they're all
Mm-hmm.
pretty much the same. They're offering the same product. If you're in Philly, if you're buying a 2,000 square feet single family home, it's a 2,000 square feet single family home. Whether I built it, whether you built it, whether someone else built it, there might be plus or minus in terms of differences in terms of quality, but for the
Right.
most part, they're pretty much the same. So what are you really buying, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yep.
and I always say this: you're buying that user experience. You're buying that that kind of comfort. You're going in saying, okay, am I getting the best deal in terms of, am I dealing with honest people? Am I dealing with people who are transparent? Am I dealing with people who will respond to me on 1 day after the first year of warranty and say, oh, sorry, you're 1 day out of warranty, and so I'm sorry, I am not going to honor that repair? Is that something that we're going to do, or are we going to actually communicate with people and basically tell them, hey, listen, we'll come out there and we'll do it.
Mm-hmm.
We'll help you out, and even if it's out of warranty and something expensive, how about we're gonna help you out into understanding how to resolve the issue,
Right.
even with people who are 5 years and 6 years and 7 years out of the home. So what that does for us, okay, and that's who we are, is we're helping the others, even if we cannot help them directly, but we will
Mm-hmm.
lead them to get there. So again, it's something that we it's a company. I'll tell you something that really that makes me proud, which is our head of warranty, who deals with a lot of warranty calls, and a lot of times he comes to me with things that are kind of tough, and how do I deal with this? And the first thing he always says to me is like, I put myself in your shoes and knowing what your response is going to be, and that is my response.
Right.
That's correct. And I'm like, exactly,
yeah, which is wonderful.
exactly. And sometimes it means that they're going to go an extra mile. It means they might, for the inconvenience of some repairs, to put someone in a hotel for a couple of days, and we give them that authority and be like, think like us. That's what we would do. You don't have to come back to us if we care about our people.
Right. Yeah. When there's mutual respect, I feel, people are much more willing to wanting to work with, different individuals, because they can see the sense of caring, and there's a different passion and a different goal that people are able to see, when there's companies that give that kind of safety. And it's definitely very, very admirable. You seem to be very self-aware, not just as an individual, but as a company. So what thought leaders do you follow? Who do you look to for information, and who helps to inspire this kind of just overall awareness of other people and how to communicate with them, and give your best and be your best?
So you'll be surprised, or maybe not, is there's no one specific that I hear to that kind of makes us who we are as a company. I think it's two things. It's one is who our personalities are. I mean, if you come to our company and you see who we are, you'll kind of understand. Even our buyers, when they come, everyone gets so relaxed, right? We're these down to earth. That's just our personality of how we deal, right? But also our experiences and what we have gone through, in our life. So I will always say that, I've worked probably 4, 5, 6 years with Toll Brothers. I'm not sure if you know Toll Brothers or not, but they're one of the national developers out there. And I've worked with them in San Francisco, East Bay area, came with them for Naval Square, Philadelphia. And I always said, it's a school. It's a school because they taught me not only the processes of how you can get a development up and going, but they've also given us that kind of culture of leadership, skills, culture of having these leadership skills that you can actually. I mean, they always said it. You are the CEO of your development. I've sat with Bob Toll and Zvi Barzilay back when the CEOs and the CEOs, back in the days, and they cared about. I mean, back then they had 6,000 employees, right? They were building 5,000 or 4,000 homes a year. So with all due respect, you're making the money, and they were over 70, over 80, and I would receive a call from Bob Toll. I will never forget. Being at Naval Square and basically calling me on my cell phone. How is everything going? Hey, Mo, I heard this about that. Can you check this out for me? They would come and shop their own sales offices.
Yeah.
And basically come there and talk casually. And, when you have 4,000 or 5,000 employees and you're wearing a hat and, you're an older guy and wearing your shades and you're coming into a sales office, 90% of your, sales staff would not know that, you're the owner of the company or the CEO of the company,
right.
And so they would chit chat, check out things. And what that taught me is, this is not about the money. There's something that comes before that, which is integrity and reputation. And the culture of what we are building. What is the end goal here? What is the end goal? Is it the end goal is to make money and that's it? And that's what developers are all about? Or is it really something where we tell our buyers, by the way, we're here to stay, We have a physical office. We have all kinds of developments. You know us. We're in the market. You can Google our names. You can see who we are, And you'll know that you are purchasing from people who have built a reputation and are not willing to give up anything of that reputation
Right.
for
Absolutely.
a short-term gain.
Mm-hmm.
So, I would say that, leadership at Toll Brothers, which is what shaped my kind of younger experience throughout the days, as well as, just who we are as personalities.
Yeah, absolutely. So, over the years, as individually we grow, and as we develop our business, there's a lot of self-reflection that needs to happen and take place in order to grow beyond. And what kind of fears did you have to overcome in order to get to where you're at now? And how did you
Well,
overcome?
absolutely. So, we've gone through, I mean, I've gone through that 2008 recession cycle that we went through
Mm-hmm.
close to 13 years ago. I remember the day that the CFO of the company that I worked for calling me, telling me, can you come to the office? And I went to the office, and he gave me a piece of paper that had 10 names, 15 names, and said, you need to go right now and start telling these people that by the end of Friday, they're done. And that was like the day before,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I sat a lot with a lot of these guys, and these are guys that worked on my team, on other teams, and I've seen the look on their face. I've seen the disappointment. I have seen the fear of, what am I going to do? Okay. And then following that, we went through the period of, there was not one residential loan that was not in default with banks,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I saw, I wouldn't say the fear, but the concern and the worry of the company's leadership. What are we going to do? How are we going to get over this? There were no sales. The world stopped back then, and it stopped not because of a virus that hopefully we will get over and things get back to normal. No, it was stopped because of structural defects in
Right.
our economy, which meant it was kind of going to be, there was no hope, at
Mm-hmm.
least for the short-term future for it. So, these are the fears, or these are the events that shaped our fears going into our business in 2009, which is just shortly after that, and we started our business, Larry and I, and a couple of others back then, like $7,500 each.
Yeah.
Right. But every time we went into a deal until today, okay, these events, okay, are still in our head, because we were the ones that actually sat with contractors and told them, hey, you know what, would you take 30 cents on the dollar? Or we were the ones that dealt with the lenders that were working out these deals. Or we were the ones that saw, okay, company owners lose their equity because, banks, said, hey, we're reducing all these sales numbers, so the proceeds are coming to me, and therefore there's nothing left for you. We've seen that. And that shaped who we are in terms of, our risk appetite and the way we look at deals,
Mm-hmm.
right? The way we look at deals, the way we even, look at the qualification questionnaires of the buyers that come into our office, and we look at them. And a lot of times I would call our salespeople and be like, listen, these guys can't qualify. We need to sit with them and tell them exactly what they're buying. Well, they're going to be spending 40%, 50% of their income. Like, no. We need to sit with them and explain to them, okay, this is not about us making a deal. This is about us now knowing what happened, that we need to be responsible enough to make sure that everyone that buys a home knows how they're buying their home, whether they're both. So I mean, these are the fears we think about. Larry and I are we sign so many loans with banks, and when you're building $40 or $50 million a year worth of homes and projects, there comes a point we always laugh about it and say, like, all right, we're going to sign one more loan document. What difference does it make,
Mm-hmm.
right? What difference that's 40 is 45 and 25 and 30? It's a lot of money,
Right.
But we look at it and we be like, but we're not afraid. We're not afraid because we do not never underwrite our own deals by looking at where the market is today and it's booming. We look at it in so many stressful ways that we are sure going in and saying, hey, listen, the world collapses like what happened in 2008. We will still be able to pay you, right. pay the banks and lenders, and make sure. So we're not greedy. We're not looking on these huge margins, but we're looking to be at deals always that we feel that our investors are protected, our lenders are protected, our homeowner values are protected. That's one of the very, very big ones that I think is very important, and what actually makes a lot of people come back to us and buy homes from us. I mean, the referrals that we get, and the referral business that we get, and the business that we get from people who have bought a home from us 8 years ago, sold it, and came back and bought a home from us, was because almost every single time that they bought from us, okay, they made some very good money on their house because of the fact of how we price our stuff. We don't try to overreach on the numbers. We try to make it a win-win situation. We get in and out fast on a project, right? We may maybe not making the margins that others are making, but that's fine. We can make it up in the number of homes that we build. You as a homeowner see the value add in your house, right? As a lender, you're giving away the money or giving the loan, saying, okay, this is safe, this is secure. These guys are on a kind of in a different, or they're in a niche market of their own in terms of, you know, first-time home buyer, lower priced units. It's a win-win situation for us, and it overcomes that kind of fear of, you know, what happens if things slow down? Right. Are we going to really worry about being able to survive?
Awesome. Yeah. Now, going back to, you know, everything that you've gone through over the years, and what would you say was probably one of your best failures?
You know what? You know, failures. We all had to at a certain point. You know, I wouldn't call it failures. It's I'm not going to even say regrets. It's you know, there are opportunities that come to us, right? That you know, sometimes in hindsight would look like, you know, it was a very much a missed opportunity. I don't know. You know what, Teresa, you know, I'm not going to say it's been all successes, but one of the things, you know, and people that are around me will know about me and know about us is I don't see failures. You know, I don't recognize it. I don't see it. Every single situation, right, that we're put in that's tough, I still come out of it feeling like, okay, it's something that we have learned. So I've never come out and be like, you know, oh my God, you know, I lost 70% of my money in the stock market. That's a failure because I made the wrong choice. I've never had to go through this, right? So, you know, I just see a path forward in every hard situation, and I cannot say that I have seen anything that I would point out to us and say, hey, you know, that was a failed experience, you know, and that's what I learned from it. You know, there are tough situations that we're put in every day.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's definitely the best way to look at things, and certainly the way that I've always seen things too, is that there really isn't failure when you're learning and being able to step back. And of course there's always been disappointments along the way in you know, in careers and things like that, but I think it's something that you can absolutely always find the best in it. You know, case in point, what we're all doing right now is, you know,
and it's a tough word. I'll give you a little bit of a personal story. I have twin girls and I have a boy. My twin girls are 11 now, and my boy is 7. My twin girls were born very, very premature. They were born about a pound each.
Oh, wow.
They actually, you know, there's a story on them on YouTube. They were my wedding ring went through one of their thighs all the way up.
Oh my goodness gracious.
That's how small they were. They were born like 26 or 27 weeks.
My goodness.
And they did not look like, you know, humans when they were born.
Yeah.
They looked, you know, different. Anyway, and you know, when, you know, thank God they're doing great. They're healthy. You know, nothing that came out of it other than basically a lot of bonding and a lot of, I would say, success. But one of the things that bothered me was when we left the hospital, they're like, oh, premature kids, we diagnosed them automatically with something called failure to thrive, right? And I remember that word so well, because I was like, what do you mean failure to thrive? They haven't even started their life yet, and you're, and you're like, oh no, it's just a diagnosis name. And I remember I just hated that name so much, right? Because I felt it's, even if they had something coming out of the hospital, that's not a failure. Well, it's just a medical term that means that they're not able to grow on their own, but they are. They're out of the hospital. Why are you well, we're going to diagnose them with failure to thrive until the age of 21. I was like, really? I got one of them that is a swimming champion, right? I have one of them that is a gymnast, so I just tell you that story because of that kind of word. The wording,
the association with the word. It is. It can definitely be a word that can be taken in many different forms and many different contexts. And I'm very much on the same page with how I see it, as not in a negative way, because everything at the end of the day does come down to your mindset and
exactly
how you rephrase things, because that what helps you to keep pushing through adversity and different situations, and being able to just break through the mental blocks that we can sometimes put up and get in our way of progress and such. So there's the business that you're in now, and then there's the business that you're growing and becoming. How are you relaying that to your clients now? Because I'm sure that, especially after this time, the approaches have to just be altered, inevitably, just because, people's concerns and just, their thought processes and the way they're going about, buying and selling, and, just the whole industry has just, completely changing.
Right. So let me start by saying, what our goals are as a Riverwards group. Riverwards group is not looking to just be a Philadelphia developer. Okay, so Riverwards group is looking to expand. One of the things too about us is, we're expansionists. We look at others and be like, all right, they're not better than us. We can do the same thing. We're able to grow too. We have access to capital. We have the mindsets. We have the people. We have the people inside our company that are able to lead that growth. And so that's one of the things that we always, tell our buyers. And on a separate note, Larry or I will meet with every single buyer before they buy a Riverwards group home, unless they demand that they don't want to meet with us. Otherwise, we ask for a developer meeting between us and every buyer. Why do we do that? Because we want to set the expectation right for every single buyer. There's nothing wrong with a salesperson going to buyers and painting a picture that, they're going to be buying a beautiful home. But someone also has to come in and give a reality check that this home is built by hands, that give them the comfort of who we are, to meet us in person and feel us just like we're having this conversation now, and feel who they're buying a home from, right? Not just a name. Okay, who are the people behind it? And one of the things that we mention about in these developer meetings is are we here to stay? Are you going to be buying a home from someone that's going in, building a couple of homes and making a little bit of money on each and running away, and you're never going to hear back, and you don't even have a phone number, and you're not going to be able to reach, right? Or you're looking for a company that has a backbone, that has relationships in the industry and are looking to grow. And one of the things we tell everyone is, listen, we are growing, and we are going to not only be in Philly, and we are looking to repeat our success in the Riverwards area in going to other cities which might be underserved or underpriced, and with a potential of, younger generation staying in, first-time home buyers looking to stay in, and being able to duplicate what we have done here in Philly and repeat it elsewhere. So where are we going? We're looking at the right deals outside of Philadelphia. We're growing in Philadelphia. We are also diversifying in what we are doing in terms of, from becoming more of a 100% for sale developer to having, our for sale components still, there, providing single family homes at numbers that, for the most part might be on the lower end of the market, but also we want to have up to probably 40-50% of our portfolio into developing multifamily with the same mindset of that it can be afforded by people making $65,000-$70,000 a year, $55,000 to $80,000 a year, where we're targeting that nice, $1,400 to $1,800 a month living expense kind of budget, and that's who our target market is that price limit, whether it's on the for sale or the rental part. But we're expanding more on the multifamily end.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah, it definitely sounds like you've got a lot of good growth plans set in place, and I'm sure it's very exciting and overwhelming too at the same time to have such wonderful things on your plate. And I know that last year, it was in 2019, you had won the Building Big Award for Real Estate Project of the Year, which is very, very exciting. So I'm sure there's many more of those in your future to come.
I hope so. And we're this was a great honor for us. It's a great honor for us, not only as a company, but also for highlighting how the neighborhoods are changing. My partner said it the best when he said, when we named that development that won the award Kensington Courts, we did not shy away from the word Kensington. Okay, we did not look at it and be like, oh, this might be. Actually, we look at it as an attractive word, that Kensington is coming back. Okay, so we adopted a name that others might have looked on as being, you don't want to kind of associate yours. No, we were proud that a project in Philadelphia's neighborhoods that are up and coming is being recognized.
And I know you've been doing a lot to help that community as well, when before you had gone in.
Absolutely. I mean, Teresa, you had to go see Lehigh Avenue in 2017, right? Unfortunately, the opioid epidemic is in Kensington was really bad. You saw a lot of unfortunate, users that are on the street, walking up and down the street. You saw a lot of people, unfortunately, that are homeless, that might be users, and that was the image of Kensington. So we came in and we kind of put in Avenue 30 first, which was 30 single family homes on Lehigh Avenue, and then we did our 161 unit Kensington Courts, and Lehigh Avenue just changed completely. And not only that, we did not come into a community and just say, let's just build homes and forget about the community. We worked with Councilman Squilla in terms of, the contributing to the Pink Elephant Foundation that helps out, fight the opioid crisis.
Mm-hmm.
We offered to help into upgrading lighting under the the tunnels or the pass-throughs that go across the railroad. So Kensington is now better. We've brought in security, we've brought in safety, we've expanded. A lot of the existing homeowners too were happy to see that their neighborhoods are coming back.
Absolutely.
We have 15,000, 20,000 square feet of new commercial space that's going on Lehigh Avenue,
right.
And they were all bought. What tells me that 3 years, 4 years down the road, okay, you are going to be seeing Lehigh Avenue as a completely different street than it was. We have Borkson Properties right next door that bought the scrap yard and have I think 250 or 260 nice apartments, beautiful designs next door. When you see all that happening, over a period of 5 years, you see that transformation. You see the community. You see the food co-op that went on Lehigh Avenue, right? And us giving and contributing to help that food co-op by giving a free membership for every one of our homeowners so that they can have that co-op stay afloat and make sure that it succeeds. That's how we become part of the kind of the community and better that community. We opened up a cafe, Riverwards Cafe, to, again, not to make money off the cafe, but to kind of tell the people that, listen, we want to invest in these neighborhoods and bring the whole neighborhood back up. All the demise of retail that has gone through back in the day, we want it to come back. We want to bring good people, good, hard-working Philadelphians to these neighborhoods and make these neighborhoods more attractive.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's so evident that, you have such a passion and care so much about not just the projects that you're doing, but about the community and how it affects them and the people in them. And, you kind of bring everyone into it and make it feel more inclusive as the process goes on, as opposed to, making people feel separate from or displaced. It seems it's so much more of an uplifting experience, it sounds, for everyone overall. What would you say you're most proud of in all of this?
So, I mean, on the professional level, the most I'm proud of is my team, is our team, right? A lot of these guys that work with us, and I wouldn't even call. I mean, they're colleagues, right? They're colleagues of ours. Some of them I've known for 20 years, right? They're all people that we worked with in our previous lives in different companies. So the team knew each other before it actually became a team.
Right.
Right. And the most thing that I'm proud of is of who they have become. I go into these Zoom meetings and, I listen to our colleagues talk, and I'm like, I'm so happy because I know where they were 10 years ago, right? And what the mindset is. And I always say every single one of our team is so valuable. And what we have built is not only a company that builds 100 homes or 200 homes a year. Okay. Anyone can do that. A lot of people can do that if they have the right mindset, the business mindset. But what I am personally proud of is that team. Is that team being, we can take that team and we can grow exponentially just because of who they are today and the mindset and the culture that has been really put in their minds so aggressively over the last 10 years, and how we can make them the leadership team to grow elsewhere. So that's what I say. I would say the most that I'm proud of.
Yeah, absolutely. It's wonderful. So the charity that you chose to highlight for this today was Big Brothers and Sisters, correct?
Absolutely. I love this organization. I love what it does.
So what does it mean to you being a part of it?
So I'm a true believer. Okay, I'm a very true believer in education and parenting, and what happens at a young age, and what you as an individual, your experiences as a young age is, for the most part, what shapes you as a person when you grow up and you become an adult and a contributing part of society. And I'm a big believer that education, okay, is one of these, education and the communication and kids finding a role model, okay, that can guide them through years. Listen, we're in a day and an age where, the drug abuse, the alcohol abuse, all kinds of stuff that's happening at a young age today, especially with, the internet and the social media and everything being so open and so kind of, accessible. Okay. It puts even an extra burden on these younger kids, to go about things the wrong way. Right. So I look at the Big Brothers Big Sisters organization where, they help 3,000 to 4,000 people every year.
Right.
South Jersey, Philadelphia, Delaware, that area. guiding them through one-to-one mentoring, right? Making sure that they are following through with their, homeworks and classwork, making sure that behavior-wise, they're being guided, okay, closely. They're not being, left to the street to tell them how to deal with things. And to me, that produces that individual that's going to be contributing in the future and one less problem that you have to deal, or one less crime, or one less person in jail, or one less person. And I look at that and I say, when you look at the stats and you say, okay, an average, person that is, that has gone through the program, the mentoring program for, in terms of the kids is, I think, about 40% less likely, or 47%, that's close to 50% less likely to get engaged in drug abuse. That is 30% less likely to engage in alcohol abuse. Is I don't know, I think 20 or 30% more likely to finish school. All that tells you that this is an organization that basically is able to change and transform and help to change society, and especially the kids, that younger generation, into becoming contributing adults in the future. And that's why, we kind of are big about them. We're true believers in kind of helping out the roots, and the fruits will come in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. It's a wonderful charity, and it is good that it highlights the importance of, being a role model for children. And it sounds like you've had excellent role models yourself, so it seems like a perfect fit for how you feel about everything along the line. So, well, Mo, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me today. I really appreciate it. And where can everyone find you?
Teresa, I'm at 3020 Richmond Street, and my email is mrushdy@riverwardsgroup.com. So I'm in my office. I'm very accessible. So, you can get me anytime by email, or call the office, or come to our office. We'll be happy to meet with you.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much. It was great talking to you today.
Teresa, thank you so much for the opportunity. I appreciate it. Great talking to you.